All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol IDX, Ideanomics Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we jump into this chart, I do want every single investor to be aware that I have a ticker symbol to share with you guys. For anybody that's a first-time viewer coming across this channel, you probably haven't heard about it when I talked about it back then because that was weeks ago. And if you were a subscriber and viewer and might have overlooked it or missed it, I'm here to reiterate it. We're going to look over its chart. So I highly recommend staying tuned because you want to have this one on your watch list. And if you already do and you have it on your radar, check out all the information I have for it towards the end of this video because we're going to talk about its chart and how it's going to look moving forward and the potential upside and also how it's been reacting lately. So stay tuned till the end. So IDX, what a volatile run today. This was one of those that, I mean, resistance and support would have made you think one way and then all of a sudden it would tell you another thing otherwise, right? So the highest point we saw this reach in the recent days was 433, and we certainly talked about it as this was working its way up, that it needed to break through that point. It started to pull down and we ended up in this area. So we had a support here of 379 and we had a resistance here of 402. So broke through support. It even broke through the point that we talked about, 352, 353 give or take, and even the low here of 342. If it got much further away from 342, that definitely would have been a sign you needed to pay very close attention to this and we could start to see newer lows. But quickly right after, it brought itself back up. So this was a roller coaster today. It was a lot of volatility, and that's very unusual for a stock to move that much down and that much up, but it certainly did it. This is where resistance levels and supports give you an idea of either an exit or re-entry or entering with a larger position due to the fact of how it's reacting. So a lot of investors could have looked at this as like an opportunity to get out or load up on more shares, depending on how bullish you are or how bearish you were feeling. But certainly was very volatile, broke through all the numbers we were looking at, and we definitely wanted to keep in mind, but it did not last that long below this point here at 342. The lowest that it hit was 341, and it bounced right back up. So that's where also as an investor, we need to emotionally be detached from the chart and pay close attention to what is showing us, right? We want to pay close attention to everything that it's showing, but it would have been a sign here. If I saw this going any lower, I would have been like, wow, we really need to watch this, see how it's going to react, how much closer is it getting to 309, and is this going to get much deeper into bearish territory? And then it just ran up past the highs that we previously hit, and it hit 458. Some interesting stuff. And we've talked about way back here, 476. This is the most important resistance level moving forward. And when we look at it zoomed out, I've talked about it in previous videos, we want to see if this behavior is going to act the same, right? These big spikes come right back down and keep on a downward spiral in a very slow and subtle way. And it did it here as well. And we've been recovering since 160 range, right? And it's been showing nothing but upward movement. I believe it's due to the fact that IDX is now being much more hopeful, right? Investors are being much more hopeful about how they feel about IDX, and we got past that negative, news and issue previously, and IDX seems to have a lot of potential in the market share of its sector. So there's room here for IDX, but it's been showing nothing but bullish trajectory in this route. Obviously, the volatility of the ups and downs does exist. We want to watch it carefully, but it continues to work in an uptrend. Now, we're not much higher than where we were the previous day, but we did hit new highs here, which is super important. 458 is a very important point. Now, I know that 458 is important, but the next resistance level before getting there, and it's none of these candlesticks of today's volatility, I really want to point that out, and we're going to look at that in just a moment. But let's talk about our support and the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is 395. The support level is 397. This is very close to ending back up, right, in tug-of-war zone and breaking through that support and working its way down to newer lows. So now we want to keep in mind 341, we want to keep in mind 353, and we want to keep in mind 364. These are all important points on the downward trend. Now 397 is the first support we want to watch, and we want to watch closely. Now if it breaks through the support, the 50-day moving average, the closest support level here that's completely optional, I would use it, is 387, and that's one of the lowest points on its way up before it broke through the 50-day moving average, right? So 387, you could see the behavior there and narrow it down if the bulls are trying to reappear and bring it back up, or are the bears pulling it down. But completely optional to add 387 to one of the supports on the dissection of the chart. Now, on the other hand, we have our resistance. Very important point up here at 458, but I would use the previous resistance of those highs here of 433 as a point of reference, and it's kind of a little bit below right here at this point before that big spike at 434. So 433 is definitely a point that I would use and pay close attention to, due to the fact that that was the previous high that needed to be broken through. It did get broken through, and now we want to see this break through 458. But since it's so bearish after that, 433 gives us an idea that if this gets broken through, this could be on its way up to newer highs and pulling further away from the 50-day moving average. So we definitely want to keep that in mind. We're currently sitting at 411. And as always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Stay tuned till the end, because I have a ticker symbol that we've talked about before, and you definitely want to see more information on that chart, how it's doing, and what we expect moving forward. You definitely want to have this one on your radar if you didn't have it already. Stay tuned. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, I definitely want every single investor to be aware of the fact that the ticker symbol I'm about to share, I've talked about it before. The link has been below in every single video in the description, and I'm going to retouch base on it, and I believe it's a ticker symbol every single investor in the near future should have on their watch list, whether it's after watching this video or focusing on other stocks or just adding it to your watch list and keeping it on your radar. You definitely want to have this one right there. You're watching its movement, watching its behavior, and you definitely want to do research on it. I've talked about it before. This ticker symbol is WBA. I'm here to retouch base on it because Walgreens Boots Alliance Inc. has had a slight pullback, but it's showing healthy signs of growth. If you look at the video when I did it, it was way back here around $42, $41 and some change. I don't really remember just yet where it was at, but it's down below. The description down below has the link. You'll definitely want to see that video to get a better understanding of my theory, my analysis, and what I'm seeing overall in the chart, because I go all the way back to the year 2000, all the way leading until now. And for now, it's looking like it's having some type of effect on the positive side. And then also some of the new news, I went ahead and pinned the comment, the first comment down below in the comment section of that video, the one down below in the description. And I'm talking about some of the growth expansions that WBA is having moving forward. Like, it's really expanding and it's partnering up with others. So you definitely want to see why the reasoning behind this has potential, and you definitely wanted to have it on your radar. So we talked about it back here around $41, $42. It grew all the way up to $49. Slight pullback. And this was a time to reconsider if this was the time you wanted to get in, if you haven't already. And if you were already in, you were going to see it as an opportunity. There's always two ways to look at a stock when it's going down, depending on what your end goal is and where you're trying to see this go and how much more potential you see. So, opportunity to get out and say goodbye to the stock or put it back on your watch list, or opportunity to get in with more or for the first time. And here we are seeing it run up again. It hit highs of 55. That was pretty volatile for Walgreens, but it hit a high here of about 53, brought itself back down, and it's consolidating right now at 51. So far, it's holding itself up nicely from $46. Is there potential for this to continue to work its way up? Certainly, and with all the news on vaccine rollouts and the goals of the new administration, that's just going to benefit Walgreens tremendously. So if you want a full thorough analysis on everything that I talked about back when I found out that this was an opportunity to have on your watch list and watch closely and keep it on your radar, because I'm not here to tell you guys to buy, sell, or hold, but I am here to enlighten every single investor. Go down below in the description. In that link, you'll see it. It says the Walgreens must add to your watch list, and it has the potential to 2x your money. And the reason why I say that is based off the history of the chart and moving forward, the potential that Walgreens is having. I mean, it's partnering up to the point that it's even going to have clinics, according to articles and information on what they're doing and rolling out moving forward, plus vaccine hopes, vaccine revenue, market share, and so forth. And they're usually administering vaccines, right? So Walgreens has that. And then there's a whole nother theory that you definitely want to tune in on, because I go ahead and break it down. I could be completely wrong or completely correct, but I highly encourage you guys to check out everything that I have to say about it. And I look forward to seeing your guys' comments down below in the comment section about that video, either here or on that video, on how you feel about what I see and what we're seeing already, how the chart has moved. So definitely add this to your watch list and keep it on your radar if you have not already. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.